Okay, it's a new season, fresh start, but by no means a clean slate when it comes to development. We're always pushing forwards, and hopefully when you get out there this weekend, you'll be able to feel the progress we've made over the last 12 months. I won't wish you good luck, just good hunting. Go show them how it's done.
What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 career mode, and today we are here for the start of season 2 and yet again another episode here today, and we're racing around Australia for the Australian Grand Prix at Melbourne in this first race of the season, of our second season already here, and already over 20 episodes into this series, and I can't thank you guys enough for the support on the finale and on season 1. If we could try and maintain this over season 2, I'd be so impressed with you guys. But straight away off the bat, if you did miss the last episode, the finale of season 1, check it out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. But in the meantime, you would have seen in the background the situation going into Australia with the R&D and how the teams shuffle, with, realistically speaking, Toro Rosso and Fulton have been the big beneficiaries from the regulation change over the winter, along with Williams. So those are the three fast movers, but all in all, not massive changes to the pecking order. We're just a lot closer to the big teams. And for this season, I have a custom helmet. I streamed it yesterday on Twitch. For those of you guys that did tune in, if you didn't see it, then here you go, pretty much. We've gone for a Venom-inspired helmet design. If you did not miss to see it on my Twitch, then do as you go check out my Twitch in the link in the description down below, or what you can see on screen at the top with Tom87HD, twitch.tv/Tom87HD. The link in the description down below for you guys to go follow me over there, because I'll be streaming quite a lot over the winter now, and there might be another stream today or tomorrow, possibly with some open lobbies. So do get following on there to go check me out on Twitch, guys. But we are here for Friday practice in Australia, a brand new season, a bit of a faster car, and like I mentioned, the brand new Venom helmet. We've also got a Venom race suit to go along with it. Shout out Kezari Kine. I'll leave his link down below in the description to one of the F1 modders for making that suit for me, along with me on stream. And also we have some custom gloves, changing them from a bit of a blue tone to more of a red tone to go with the Venom black and red theme. But overall, I'm looking forward to it. It's a new season, and realistically we have to try and push this Toro Rosso car to becoming a big team here, and we need to try and compete with the Red Bull big boys and our sister team, and realistically try and establish ourselves as a bit more of a force to be reckoned with this Honda power unit. Now as you can see, Friday practice underway. Car felt really good this season. Straight off the bat, the upgrades worked great. I was very confident. We had realistically only one big performance changing upgrade for the aero at the rear, because the other upgrade, which was for the chassis, was actually for tyre wear purposes, which I did notice quite a lot, and it really helped me out in terms of my R&D program. So ultimately, we did fail a program, not too bad though. We still did pretty damn well, and I felt confident. And it wasn't down to performance, or not performance. It wasn't down to excessive tyre wear or anything like that, or fuel consumption. It was just down to the fact that the lap time delta was just too strong for me to match. Also, I was hoping to have that fuel consumption upgrade. Ultimately, it failed on the car, because that will really enable us to have better tyre wear and also be a lot more aggressive with fuel at the start of the races. But ultimately, the upgrade failed, which hopefully will be on the car for the next race.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You really put a lot of effort into practice today. Are you testing new components? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners? Appreciate your time.
I think we got lucky with the regulation change. Over the winter, I think the fact the regulation change came in for season 1, it couldn't really affect the cars that much, because what we had developed in the tree was very limited. However, I don't think we get a regulation change this season. If it happens next season, and you can imagine by then the R&D tree will be pretty damn advanced, then it's going to really hurt you when it comes to the regulation change, especially if it's more than one department. But as you can see, here we have the brand new race suit, the Venom skin. I'm very happy with it. Hopefully you guys do like it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm absolutely loving the theme we've got going on for season 2 here, and you can now see my gloves in action. And basically we've just changed the blue stripes to red stripes on the gloves. Now in Q1 I went out very late in the session, pretty much when the session ended, because I felt confident in my pace, and ultimately that proved to be true, because we managed to put a pretty damn good lap together. Not a phenomenal one though. I've noticed that AI are really strong, I'd even say stronger in Q1 than they are in Q2, or there's a bit of a scripted glitch in place where you can't go as fast in Q1 as in Q2, because in Q1 I got through just in P15, which definitely surprised me. I thought I had more pace than that, especially because Pierre Gasly got P7, I think. And going to Q2, I was like, oh wow, okay, so we're really going to be struggling here on the back foot. As you can see, Gasly there in P9, sorry. So he got through comfortably. I just about scraped through. I mean, it was 2/10 clear, but even still on the bubble. And then in Q2, we went out for our first attempt. Ultimately, a very scruffy lap, a lot of mistakes, getting it wrong into turn 3, then again at turn 8, and then yet again at turn 13, I think that is, at the right-hander. So a couple of mistakes. And ultimately not a very good opening lap, but it still wasn't that bad actually. You know, even though we made the mistakes, the lap time wasn't terrible, and we went P14 and a couple of attempts behind Pierre. So on my second attempt, we're going to absolutely go for it here, do or die for Q3. So here we go, turn 1, you're going to brake right on that last brake meter board on the left hand side as a reference point. Get down to 5th or 4th gear depending on your preference. Try and carry the speed through on the power flat out through 2, braking on the last reference point on the left hand side there for 3rd gear, just where the barrier ends. Then a little short shift into 4th, through this swooping left to turn 4, and then flat out through 5. I get a pretty damn good line through here, and taking a chance on the curb as we now brake late for this right-hander. 4th gear action, using all the curbing, being very smooth with the car and the traction inputs to not lose the back end, and then basically keeping it nice and tight through this right-hander as we now brake very late for this 90-degree right-hand corner. Very tricky because it's slightly, the back wants to get away from you, and it's very easy to lose the back end there. Luckily though, we kept it in check as we now go into the 2 best corners on the circuit here. Let's just listen. Absolute maximum commitment there. DRS open on the back straight, and a very good chicane section as we now brake late for the turn 13 corner, I guess. I think it's 13, as we now get a very nice one on the power, and then throwing the car into the next one. You want to try and tap that curb on the inside a little bit to get the car rotated as we now brake into the penultimate corner. 3rd gear action still as we now get on the power nice and early. Patience through the final corner, and then you can finally get the pedal down. Use the DRS as we go up to the line. And where is that going to put us? It's a big improvement. Is it going to be enough? And I think it is for P9 and our first Q3 in the first race of the season, and a massive improvement to last year where we couldn't even get out of Q1. So very good session for us, and a very good appearance in Q2, really turning up the pace and finding some extra tenths, which I did not think I had in Q1. I genuinely thought the Q1 pace was the pace I had, but somehow I found pace. So very impressed, and we're going to go for another lap here, this time in Q3, 1 attempt because I only had this set of tyres left, and yet again the same old story. Turn 1, carrying the speed through in 5th gear, being patient, opening up the car. You want to look for the brake point, which is the very last brake board on the left hand side there. I think it's a 50. Down to 3rd gear. You can use 2nd if you want to. Get on the power. Again, you want to tap this curb slightly to get the car rotated on the power. Through here, I get a little bit loose and not the best line. I had to correct myself slightly, but still looking good. Only a 10th off the pace in Sector 1 so far. Really aggressive this time through there, that right-hander, using all of the track available. And this time, again, this sort of off-cambered, kind of a bit of an unnatural right-hander because the curb is very high. You want to try and attack it, but at the same time, you probably want to avoid it because it will unsettle the car. We do a very nice job through there. And then this time, we don't do as well through the S section. Ultimately, the first one was fine, but then I got really not a nice line. I cut the corner a bit, and then I actually tried to correct myself. I went wide, and ultimately I think I probably lost a bit of time getting on the grass there. But still, it's a good lap. We're looking very strong here. The rest of the lap has been the best it's been so far. And again, that was perfect. Tapping the inside curb, unlike last time. And then the penultimate corner, again, just tapping the curb to get the car rotated. And then on the power, nice and early, you want to try and get that power down as soon as possible. Open up the DRS. A very nice, clean final sector besides the mistake out the exit of the chicane. And we go P8. So a very good lap there.
We're very happy with that position. Well done.
I'd even say that was better than Q2. We made the little mistake, so there's definitely a 10th or so, or 10th and a half. But it still wouldn't have made a difference because Perez was just too quick for us. Perez showing incredible pace all weekend. But we got 8th place, a very good result for us. Very happy with that. Did not expect it after Q1, and overall cannot complain as we also out-qualify Pierre Gasly. But that is your top 10, and we now move onto the grid for Sunday's race for the Australian Grand Prix.
New drivers, new cars, and a new Formula One season. But it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that hosts the first round of a 21-race championship, taking us from here in Melbourne, Australia, across the globe before we eventually reach the season finale at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Here's the track then, 16 corners, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. They make up the 3.3 miles around Albert Park Lake, with turn 1 and 3 providing the best opportunities to pass. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, and who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. it's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Perez, Martinez, Alonso, and Roman Grosjean, Sainz, Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and Magnussen, Van Dorn, Sirotkin, Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll, Hülkenberg and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, here we are on the grid then for the first race of Season 2 for the Australian Grand Prix. We start from P8 on row number 4 alongside Sergio Perez, and that's going to be the battle today for the best of the rest position. Now, it's going to be an interesting race because it's going to look tricky for strategy. It's touch and go. Even though we've got the tyre upgrade on the car, we have two options and they're both very tempting. The one stop isn't tempting me as much as it normally would because there's a lot of tyre drop off we're going to have to deal with later on in the race. So I'm a little bit mixed as into what I want to do strategy wise. You know, the two stop looks very safe. I'm wondering if I've got a set of ultras that I could run. It's a bit close though. It's a bit tight strategy wise though. So yeah, I'm a bit like, I'm not sure where I want to take this. The two-stopper is tempting me, though. I have to be honest. Just because I can just push flat out the entire race. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the one for now. And what I'll do is, depending on how the ultra softs feel, I'll make my decision. I think that's the best thing to do because I can't really choose it right now. I don't really like the look of the one stop, I've got to be honest, but we'll see what happens. It also depends on what our race pace is like, because if we've got good race pace, then we can maybe get away with the soft tyre. But with that being said, let's jump into it here for the first race of the season for the Australian Grand Prix, and let's see how far into the points we can finish, and let's try and have a good race. Let's go. Right, here we go then. Let's get ready for the 5 red lights here for the Australian Grand Prix. Lights are, and away we go. It's a decent start actually. Not too bad. We get off the line fairly well into turn 1, being cautious here of front wings and all of that sort of stuff. Perez going up the inside of Verstappen. We're going to crank up to rich mix to try and stay afloat in the straights. Up the inside of turn 3. Perez there giving me a good old nudge. You could hear the crunch. Perez still locked onto me there for some reason. We're side by side through here.
We're looking good from the start.
Right, there we go. We just managed to get up the inside, but that was a good old crunch from Perez there into turn 3. Not really sure what happened there, but either way, we're at P6. A very good position, pretty much best of the rest with the exception of Max Verstappen. Perez looking for the move there, but couldn't quite get through. First time with this improved Honda power unit around this track. There should be a lot more racy, but even then there's going to have to be a lot of defensive work done. Perez looking for the outside. No way through there just yet, I'm afraid. That Force India, even though we're good in the straight, that Force India is even better. And Perez goes to the outside. I'm going to use some overtake ERS. Defend the inside line, squeeze out Perez. And there we go, that's a nice bit of defensive driving. Hopefully I can try and break away now and try and break that slipstream a bit. Also, let's see what the leader's pace is like around here. That's going to be the real interesting factor. Also trying to keep my tyres in the window. Lots of things to balance here. First time with this new and improved Toro Rosso. Let's see how we settle down to this race. So far so good. I'm having to use quite a bit of ERS to stay ahead of Sergio Perez because he really picks up speed on the straights with the DRS, and unfortunately I don't have DRS on Ricciardo and Raikkonen here because I picked it up too late. They're kind of in a bit of a battle at the moment, but I was definitely not as fast as these two guys. Raikkonen and Ricciardo here going for a battle. Raikkonen's had a poor exit. I'm on the grass. Can I go on the outside? Is that possible? Yes it is. We pull it off. We are going to be on the back foot now though. I'm going to have to use all the engine power that I have to stay ahead, and that's exactly what we've done. Didn't really have the race pace, but Ricciardo and Raikkonen started battling, and it sort of caught me off guard how Raikkonen got that poor exit, and it basically allowed me to get past him there. So we're now P5, but I don't expect it to last that long. Perez is definitely faster than me, at least when he's within DRS. You know, maybe when I've got DRS it's the other way around, but that force end is extremely powerful on the straights, and it just really pulls me in. So yeah, we're kind of on the back foot in that regard. At the moment, though, Ricciardo, you can see pulling away as we've got Vettel and Hamilton.
Has just moved into first place.
Vettel and Hamilton in the pit lane. So as you heard, Bottas currently leads the way. We're now up with the P3 here. Just keeping up with the DRS of Ricciardo here. If you've got DRS, you can most likely keep up. However, I think with the Red Bull, it's going to be hard to really match up with that amount of downforce that car has. Kimi comes in. Stoffel Van Dorn out of the race, and Bottas stays out for another lap, as does Ricciardo.
Leading our teammate by 2.8 seconds.
And I'm keeping up with Ricciardo here in the DRS, and I'm actually starting to break away from Perez ever so slightly. Can't lie, looking at my track position and the amount of cars behind me, a two-stopper is going to be a lot of traffic, so I'm leaning towards the one at the moment, and also because we're in a great net position here with Vettel and Hamilton coming in, and that's for position. So right now we're on for a podium here, we play our cards right, so I have to try and get these tyres to last and really stretch these out if I can. And Perez comes in, so
VSC deployed. A virtual safety car has been deployed. We need to keep a positive delta here. Slow down, maintain a positive delta.
VSC.
Okay, some information on Magnussen. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Perez was coming into the pit lane there, so he's timed that to absolute perfection. He's going to get a very nice, good pit stop there, so that's going to massively benefit him in the long run this race.
Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta is negative, which means you are too fast. Reduce your pace. Virtual safety car is ending. Maintain your pace until the green flag. VSC ending. Wait for green.
There we go, back underway. VSC done. We saved a little bit of fuel and back up to racing speed. Ricciardo comes in. Right then, Bottas in as well. It's now hammer time. We have to really try and pick up the pace here if we can with these tyres.
We're boxing this lap. Give us the best in lap you can.
Right into the pit lane. Been a very good in lap. So much concentration. Get it also down for the 60. There we go. Right then, we're going to be pit stop battling here with Max Verstappen. We should be okay though. I don't think there'll be much of an issue. Let's save some ERS as well while we're at it. 2.3. Good stop. Right. Let's have a look then. There's Hamilton and there's Raikkonen.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
And there's Ricciardo, who came in a lap before. We need a very strong lap now on this out lap to stay ahead of obviously the rest of the people around us. But you can see that train of cars in front. That's why the two-stopper might have been a bad option. Strong pace, personal best. Verstappen though, really putting the pressure on here. We're going to have to use some ERS and British mix to stay ahead. But there's a lot of battling going on here, so this is our opportunity to catch up to the big boys again. Gasly in the pit lane, he's on the one stop, so he was only like 2 seconds behind me in the last stint, so it's important that we have done enough on these first laps on this tyre to stay in front. We're going to use maximum engine mode here to stay ahead of Verstappen, even though we have DRS. There's Gasly, so we're comfortably ahead. And we stay ahead of Verstappen as well. Let's try and get past Marcus Ericsson here into turn 3. Good exit out of 1 and 2, but Ericsson does have DRS, which is not going to help me one bit. Not quite the place to pass, unfortunately not close enough. He's going to frustrate me quite a bit, Marcus Ericsson here, so we need to try and set him up for a tactical move. feel like a tactical location is going to be trying to nab some DRS, but then again, I've got the run on him here. I'm going to sit back for now. I'm going to tactically place my car. I want to pick up the DRS, so now's my chance to strike. Here we go, this is the one. Try and pass him just after the DRS zone. Oh, no. Getting squeezed.
Run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix 2 soon.
Didn't quite work as expected, but we are going to get him this time though. On the inside on the brakes. Perfectly executed. And he now is in front of Verstappen, so that's my chance to break away. Ericsson will probably come in this lap, so now's my chance to try and get a bit of a gap out to Verstappen again. We get past Grosjean as well, so we're back up to P7, which is the best we can do considering Perez is the man in front of us who's the wild card in this equation. So, right, half race distance, we're doing well so far. Matching my personal best there to the 1000th. Verstappen's still trying to put the pressure on here, but I'm still controlling him right now. I'm using rich mix to try and stay ahead and trying to save the battery, leaving it in medium the entire lap. Max up the inside, it's a nice little move. I think he's running a higher engine mode, he's cranked it up a bit. I'm going to have DRS on the home straight, I let him go there. He also kind of placed his car very nicely, so Verstappen making the overtake. Just want to try and follow him at this point. Stick with him if I can. I'm going to try and go for the re-overtake. We got Hamilton and Vettel in again. They're on softs now, so they're going to be in the same tyre as me. So there won't be that much of an advantage. They just have much fresher tyres. Here we go though in the slipstream of Verstappen. Can we go for the re-overtake? Not quite. Verstappen brakes late and I can't match him. So that's okay. I don't mind. Realistically, I want Perez to start dropping through the field if possible. And I want people to start passing him. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like it's happening. Vettel and Hamilton have come out in a lot of traffic. So this is looking like a good net P6 at the moment for us. And now Kimi Raikkonen's in the pit lane, so that's another position for us. And we're up into P5, so we're looking very good here. This is a net position, I'm very happy with this. I'm keeping up with Verstappen here with relative ease at the moment. He's not really pulling away, so we've got him very much under control here. Also, I've now recharged my battery completely, so who knows, if he doesn't pick up any more pace, I might have a chance to come back at him.
Leader, 10.5 seconds.
I mean, he's definitely not as fast with me in like turn 1, for example. So if I really wanted to, I could probably go for the re-overtake. Definitely got the pace on him though, and DRS is so effective here. And to be honest, I'm running at a strong pace with behind him, so I'll wait for a bit. You never know, maybe later on I could try and strike if we still have tyres later on the Grand Prix. But yeah, it's really hurt me though sometimes, I've got to say. Personal best by a 10th in the first sector, but Verstappen just picked up the pace here. He's cranked it up another gear. I need to try and follow if I can while we have the chance. Although I think I might not be in DRS this lap. I think he's done enough to break me this time. So I need a big final sector to really close the gap. Okay, maybe not. We do still have DRS, so that's okay.
The gap to the car behind is 3.7 seconds.
Just holding on here. There we go, personal best by quite a mile. Verstappen forcing me to switch up the pace and really pick it up, but he's really breaking me at the moment.
Plenty of energy. Switch to overtake and have a go.
Don't worry, mate. I'm working on it. It's not about having a go. It's about keeping him within the DRS. That's what I'm looking at the moment. Because if I keep this pace up with Verstappen, we're giving ourselves a long chance, like a better chance in the long run later on this race, to stay ahead of Hamilton, who is now behind Ocon, and he's starting to pick up momentum. The only problem is running at this pace. There might be a risk. Potentially going to overheat my tyres later on in the Grand Prix and put a bit extra wear, but the pace is so strong I just have to try and keep up because it's keeping me well in the race here and well in the points. I can definitely tell Verstappen's not running higher engine modes anymore. I'm finding it a lot easier to keep up here. I'm not having to use any high engine modes of my own to stay with him, so got to start maybe potentially running the numbers here and considering an overtake on him. Ocon is starting to catch a bit. But I think Hamilton's going to struggle to get past that Force India because that Force India is one of the fastest cars in the straight, if not the fastest car. So Hamilton's going to be there for a while, I think. Verstappen's really stretched me this lap. He might have broken me this time for sure. I don't think I'm within DRS anymore. Yeah, I'm not this time. Still doing good pace, but Verstappen's really picked it up big time. And Hamilton has now got past Ocon, so we're kind of on our own now. With 6 laps to go, this P5 is going to be under threat. Okay, I've pushed hard and I might.
They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
I think I just managed to get myself back into DRS contention. There we go. That was a very strong lap from me. I really gave it as much as I could, leaning on the tyres, and we've got back within DRS. So again, we're going to get that helping hand and a couple of extra tenths per lap, which is critical for me staying ahead of Hamilton, who is now engulfed in a battle with Ocon and Vettel. You can't shake off Ocon because of the DRS, similar to Verstappen really. So this is doing us a big favour here. 5 laps to go next time we cross the line, and the gap is around 2.5 seconds. There's my current tyre wear. Really on the limit now. Not in terms of tyre wear grip, I'm just like to try and match Verstappen's pace and also stay ahead of the Mercedes. I'm going to be absolutely perfect. No mistakes allowed, otherwise it's going to be bad news for us. Personal best this late on in the race.
Teammate by 11.6 seconds.
Makes you realise how much I'm really trying to dig in here. You can see Bottas there, he's under threat from Perez. Could Perez win the first race of the season? That'd be incredible. We are doing a good job though, staying ahead of Lewis for now. Definitely noticed it there on that exit. Struggle for some traction there, big time. Still within Max's DRS though, crucially. I'm kind of tempted to really want to try and move in on Verstappen now. I mean, I'm on the limit already, but I can really use all my DRS if I wanted to really close up on him and try and get that P4. But I'm going to have to leave it very late until like the last lap if I really wanted to, I think. We just need to stay here for a bit longer and then try and go for the move who we can. Bit deep into there, not the best exit. I'm going to have to defend. Lewis is going to be on the offensive. And that defense has kind of turned to offense here. Oh, whoo. Well, you know what? Let's commit to this.
1 lap of fuel remaining.
Up the inside of Verstappen. Go for the squeeze. Yellow flag.
Okay, the incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Right, we've got past Verstappen. The problem is, though, Hamilton's right there. I'm relying on absolute maximum horsepower here from this Honda engine. Last lap of the race. Here we go.
Final lap of the race.
Went defensive into turn 1. Picking up the traction. There we go, we've defended so far. That's going to be enough. I'm going to save that little bit of fuel for the back straight. On to the back straight, rich mix. Maximum engine modes. Lewis isn't super close. We might have enough here in the tank. Through the chicane. Nice line. Nice and tidy. Overtake ERS. I think we've done enough here. I think we got it. Yeah, I definitely think we have now. Just got to survive out the final corner now. Get a good exit onto the home straight. Last couple of corners here. Concentration at the highest point all race. Come on. Final corner lock up. Bottas wins the opener. At the final corner on the power. It's a good exit from us. And that is going to see us home in P4 in the opening race.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So looking at the final race results, Valtteri Bottas wins the opening race down under in Melbourne, Australia, ahead of Sergio Perez, who picks up a phenomenal second place finish. Daniel Ricciardo, home hero, P3 on the podium. We finish in P4 just behind. And Lewis Hamilton, we managed to just stay ahead of him in the closing stages, making the critical pass on Max Verstappen. 1 lap to go as he finishes down in P6, just ahead of Sebastian Vettel in the first of the Ferraris there. Esteban Ocon, P8, ahead of Pierre Gasly, my teammate. And Pierre ultimately on the one stopper, improving and scoring points, but ultimately he was in P8, lost in the last lap I think to Ocon if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Kimi Raikkonen in P10, who tried to get past Gasly, ultimately couldn't make it work and only picks up a single point. Carlos Sainz missing out on the points along with Grosjean, Alonso, Leclerc, and further down the order, Van Dorn and Magnussen retiring from the Grand Prix. In terms of the standings, exactly the same as the race results here, but in terms of the constructors, you can see that we are currently P4, back where we were last season. The difference is Ferrari at P5 and Force India at P3, so I'm expecting that to sort of turn around maybe. It's going to be a close battle with the Pink Panthers I think this season, so it's going to be a bit of a development race to try and overturn their lead at the moment and try and beat them. Even though we are ahead in R&D, Perez was so damn quick. here today, and I don't have any explanation for it. But either way, that's been the Australian Grand Prix, and we're now going to move into the laptop for some updates.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? You really looked in control of your car out there. Your team must be thrilled. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Do you think you were lucky not to end your race with that crash? Great! Well, that's everything.
Right then, we're here on the R&D screen, and with 1,674 points to spend, the new 75% race bonus coming into play, we're going to straight away get the one that should have arrived for this weekend for the fuel, and that will be on the car for the next one in Bahrain. And then we have to start looking elsewhere. Now, I'm going to go straight to durability for this one, because the gearbox is something that we struggled with last season and it's something I need to improve. So we are going to go for a gearbox durability upgrade, because we need to get the durability basically to last 6 races. I fell just short of 6 races last season. I think the upgrade might just be enough to see us get the 6 race gearbox efficiency. In terms of the aero, we're looking pretty good here, and we don't need to rush into anything. We've got a lot of options here and a lot of things to improve, and the R&D tree looks absolutely massive. So we've definitely got a lot of things to buy, and it's going to take quite a while, and I'm quite looking forward to it. The R&D tree this year looks a lot bigger than last year's game, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how far it really goes. But all in all, guys, that is going to be it for this episode, and we're going to have one upgrade on the car performance-wise for the next race, which is going to do with our fuel. So hopefully we can try and use a little bit less fuel, be a bit more aggressive in the race, and all in all, less fuel equals less weight, therefore that equals less tyre wear, because there's less weight on the car. But if you guys have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, if you have, then please do leave a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me, and finally check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys, and see you on my next one very soon. Goodbye.